I advise Beyoncé to divorce Jay-Z as soon as possible because I'm ready to shoot a documentary about Jay-Z, and I guarantee it will outgross Diddy's documentary. If Beyoncé sends me a legal letter on behalf of Jay-Z, I remind her to stay quiet. This is a dispute between men, and she has no right to interfere. I have to let everyone see the true face of Jay-Z. Jay-Z and Diddy have been longtime friends, and their business dealings never stopped. He frequently attends Diddy's parties, so why do people think he's innocent? Jay-Z and Diddy got involved in the same case in 2024, where a victim claimed she was assaulted by both Jay-Z and Diddy. I remember Jay-Z saying these were all rumors and that he was defending Diddy. But ironically, Diddy got arrested in 2025. And there's enough evidence to count his crimes on one hand. I've known them for 20 years, and I know how many bad things they've done behind the scenes. After Jay-Z founded his company, he repeatedly got into copyright disputes. In 1999, he was convicted of third-degree assault and served time in prison. He was unfaithful to Beyoncé, and he was caught by Beyoncé's sister. I think everyone has seen the footage of him getting beaten up in the elevator. I've already gathered the evidence, and I'm going to give Jay-Z a surprise.
The new lawsuit coming with Jay, the part with Jay. I go, oh, shoot, like.
To us, black excellence.
That had to be there.
We getting tighter, you know what I'm saying? And united we stand, and ain't nothing else.
Black excellence, they're sitting there like, yeah. It's the billionaire brush.
Oh,
Like,
I hate you, man.
unaware of anything going on here. This is the one time I'm going to be with you this year.
Yeah,
Come on, bro.
That's the problem. You didn't realize on Monday that every word that you said was going to be invalidated.
What if the biggest secret in hip-hop wasn't what happened, but how long it was delayed? What if power wasn't protected by innocence, but by silence? It starts with a warning, a bold one, a public voice saying Beyoncé should distance herself before a documentary drops. A claim that if legal letters fly, they won't change what's coming. And right there, before anyone proves anything, the temperature rises. Because when someone promises to show the true face of a billionaire icon, people lean in. But here's the part people miss. Promises are not proof.
It's all of us and laughing and joking with each other. Then over the years, I see them giving garden parties. You understand what I'm saying? You could tell that the people in power had gave that reign to Diddy, and Jay was next in line. So to separate him, when in fact they may be two of the same, but because Jay-Z is low-key, that low-key sneaky shit, and Diddy is, and was, rambunctious, just out with it, it don't mean that they not two of the same. One just a little quieter with his shit.
What happened at the basketball game? When they ran into, you guys ran into Jay-Z?
They were just talking. They was talking amongst each other about their little white girls. They little skinny white girls.
And I mean, did Diddy always say negative things about Jay around you?
The time he was trying to get Ja Rule to go at Jay, yeah. He was. They worked it out.
Was there a reason behind it?
I couldn't tell you the reason behind it. It was probably because Big had died. I don't know what it was, man. I don't know why he wanted Ja Rule to go at Jay. I guess if he kept them beefing or kept them into some bullshit, he could rise up in between both of them. You know what I mean?
Yep.
It definitely was some snake shit.
Well, Meek Mill is also someone who has been...
For years, two names have been linked in business, in parties, in proximity. Jay-Z and Diddy, longtime collaborators, photographed together, moving in the same rooms. That's documented. What's not documented, at least not proven in court, are the online claims suggesting shared wrongdoing in a 2024 civil allegation where a claimant reportedly accused both men. Those claims were publicly denied, and no criminal conviction has established those accusations as fact. But then, in 2025, Diddy was reportedly arrested on separate charges, and suddenly the timeline fell heavier. Not because association equals guilt, it doesn't, but because proximity raises questions people can't ignore.
Donna was trafficked to Def Jam.
She was an innocent baby when she came over here. And look
She
at
was
her now.
14 going on 15 years old. Flown over without parental supervision in a private plane by a man who was supposed to be a producer who auditioned her at 3 a.m. in the fucking morning in a hotel room. Auditioning at 3 a.m. in the morning, a 14-year-old girl. She was flown to another country. She was taken to Def Jam headquarters. She was left in a conference room alone with Sean Carter for nearly 6 hours alone with no parental supervision. Her father collected a $500,000 check. She has the fastest inked deal in Def Jam.
And this is where it gets messy. Hip-hop history isn't just music. It's alliances, rivalries, business empires. Some former insiders now suggest the culture protected powerful figures through delay, not denial. Delay. Stories that floated but never landed. Allegations that stayed whispers. That doesn't confirm wrongdoing. It confirms something else. Influence can slow momentum.
What do you think of that?
And those men sit up there and seen her being abused by him, and they did what everybody else did for years in the industry. They kept it quiet and kept doing business with it.
Do you think a lot of people know what Puff was doing and kind of just turned a blind eye?
Yeah. That's a no-brainer. That's a no-brainer. He had got so... You're listening. Everybody in the world knew he took a cowbell and tried to beat the coach up with it. Nobody did nothing. They heard stories for years about him slapping, beating Kim and all other women that he was with. I'm surprised more haven't came out with it. They don't probably want the attention or whatever. But there's more women out there can say that he probably put their hands on them.
With Usher, Neo, and Jimmy Iovine being exposed as somebody who might have potentially seen this type of behavior, do you think that they will try to call them on the stand, or, do you think they should be held accountable for some of that too?
Well, I think that when you have situations like that and you're in a room with somebody, you can't make them see anything when they come to the stand, because all they can say is that I didn't see it. I was there. I wasn't looking in that direction. I don't know what really happened. All I know is Cassie was holding her stomach, bent over, throwing up. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, they'll say anything. Their lawyers will tell them what to say. They have people to teach them what to say in circumstances and situations like that. So Dawn, yes, she saw it. She saw that they were there, and they should have seen it too. She would have to describe when that happened. What did Usher do? What did Neo do? What did they say?
Let's separate fact from narrative. Jay-Z was convicted in 1999 of third-degree assault in a case involving a music executive. That's on record. He later served probation. That is confirmed history. Years later, elevator footage involving him and Beyoncé's sister went viral. The world saw it. No commentary needed. But here's where the line must stay clear. Online speculation about deeper patterns, secret rivalries, or coordinated cover-ups remains exactly that, speculation, not proven in court.
Well, when I first heard the conversation, when I first heard the allegations, I said to myself, that's 2000. That's when I was there. And so I got to read what was said and how it went down and everything like that. And then first of all, I start seeing some inconsistency. But I don't want to, criticize the victim or the person that said that they was a victim, but some of the statements and some of the things that I heard was incorrect. You know, as far as I know what we did at that time. First of all, we did not use limousines. We used SUVs in 2000. You know what I'm saying? So when she said that it was a limousine that picked her up or she went with a limousine driver, you know, I was kind of skeptical and wanted to hear more about her story. So now she said that the limousine driver, you know, got her into a party, but somehow she had to went to a gas station. And if you know that area, there's no gas stations unless you walk all the way up to 96th Street. That's like 40-something blocks. So I was like, all you had to walk to the west side, which is another 14, 15 long blocks. And then you would have to know where you're going to find that gas station because it's close to the West Side Highway. Unless she went all the way downtown, and then who gonna pick her up from that far away from the you know, the venue where she went to. So, and then she said something about that, or well, the allegation said something about that she went with the limo driver. So did the limo driver drop puffing them off or Jay them off, then came back and got her, then take her to the party? It was just a lot of inconsistencies. I was like, yo, first of all, we didn't even use limousines. You understand? Bad Boy used SUVs. So I found those being real inconsistent on what the story she was talking about. And then for limousine driver, who would know us, because our drivers didn't drive limousines, how you gonna tell somebody to get in the party? He had to go through security for that. And that just wouldn't have happened.
Some commentators have raised questions about early career relationships in the industry, including stories about artists traveling young or signing deals quickly. Those conversations often reference figures like Rihanna and Def Jam, but there's been no court ruling establishing criminal misconduct by Jay-Z in those contexts. Allegations repeated online are not the same as findings of fact, and that distinction matters.
I want to say this to protect myself, that there's stories of Jay talking to underage girls. It was a girl from my block that was 16, 17 years old that Jay was talking to. If she was 17. So there's plenty of stories out there that they might flood the market of Jay talking to underage girls. I heard this kid that is claiming to be his son. His mother was 15 when she conceived him and had him at 16. And Jay refused to do a blood test or anything like that. And all of a sudden, when this has gotten real big and Tony Bugsby had taken the kid's case, the kid just got arrested for having a gun in his car, I think, like that. Did you hear something about that? That the kid got arrested for having a gun in his car, and when they go and watch the tape, somebody was planting a gun in the kid's car. Now the kid who never been in trouble to that degree, and now he's facing a case for a gun case for having a loaded firearm in his car. So, answer your question. There's plenty of stories. Ain't Beyoncé one of those stories? Isn't Foxy Brown one of those stories? Isn't that kid mother one of his stories? There's a lot of stories, bro. So that's what I say about it.
Others claim inconsistencies in high-profile accusations, details about vehicles, locations, timelines. Former associates dispute logistics. They question whether certain events could have unfolded the way they were described. That doesn't automatically invalidate a claim. It also doesn't confirm it. It shows something else. When allegations move from rumor to paperwork, every detail becomes a battleground. And here's what complicates it further. Silence. When public figures decline to comment, some see strategy. Others see legal caution. In reality, attorneys often advise clients not to engage publicly during active disputes. That's standard practice. But in a culture built on visibility, silence feels loud.
Anybody could come on this internet and say anything, right? And dude is getting a whole lot of attention because people are even calling me, asking me about him, and I don't know him from a can of paint. He even mentioned my name, saying that I know. I know what I know. I don't know what he knows. But I do know this, that it's only 3 people that had contracts with Puff and Bad Boy. Me, Wolf, and Paul Offord. If he didn't come through Paul Offord Security, Green Gate Security, he didn't have a contract with Puff. Because anybody who worked for Puff, other than me and Wolf, came through Green Gate Security. That was Paul's security thing, especially at the time that he was saying that he worked for Puff, or Puff offered him $30,000. Now, anybody knows this, that Bad Boy took 50% of all this artist publishing, right? 50% of all the artist publishing straight out the rip. Then Puff gave Big $200,000 for the rest of his publishing. So what publishing did he was trying to get and keep from Puff? You understand? What publishing was Puff was trying to get when he already had it? He had already paid for it. What part of the catalog was he talking about? I don't understand that. And then he said that Puff offered him $30,000. I can't say he lied, but I can say that he wasn't a part of Bad Boy Security that I know. I knew everybody who worked during them days. You understand? And I don't know dude from a can of paint.
So whoever this Uncle Ron dude is, he's a liar then. He's a fraud.
Is he a fraud? Bruh, he's what he is. He wasn't part of our security that I knew of. Not at that time.
Then come the bigger accusations. Claims about intellectual property disputes. Arguments over who wrote what. Former collaborators alleging bars were borrowed. Jay-Z has publicly framed certain lyrical overlaps as homage. Critics disagree. None of that has resulted in criminal findings. But the debate fuels perception, and perception in entertainment moves markets.
I'm going to tell you the song she should have remade. It's a hit. It would have done great for her. She should have tried it on. Tammy Wynette. Classic. Stand by your man. Don't act like you don't know that. Remake that. Stand by that. That's a real country hit. Jolene, nice. But it has a ring to it. Stand by your man. Yeah. Whoops you and disrespects you with other like Kathy Coriana White.
Mm. All right, well, let's do it like
who
this.
Was actually carrying his baby while you was faking it.
Yeah.
Why your husband don't want to put his seed inside of you? He put it in everybody else? Wild in this world, yo.
It's funny, you open up Beyonce's internet, it just gets weird.
Beyonce's internet.
That's what we're calling
that
it.
That belongs to the devil. Unless you calling that the devil, she ain't nothing but an employee.
Oh.
And half of
Which dumbass bitch.
You know, it's funny that it's crazy you say these
Why
things.
don't nobody want to accept that bitch?
I think
she went and killed the girl Cats.
Okay.
A girl went to court and charged her with extreme witchcraft. She was hypnotized. She was drunk. Beyonce came and she was in there eating on her and shit while she was asleep. You know, snacking on his bitch, killing people cats. And guess what? They wouldn't give her the restraining order. They just told her to stay away from Beyonce and work for somebody else. Guess what? She's having a hard time finding work too. Which is interesting because she's a brilliant musician. And she was trained at the esteemed Berklee College of Music. Handpicked by my very good friend, Terry Lynn Carrington, Dr. Terry Lynn Carrington, who put together Beyonce's entire female band, which was Matthew Knowles' idea because he couldn't get Beyonce to stop people. Guess you didn't know your daughter well enough because she just started f***ing all the girls. Impulse control issues? I don't know.
Okay,
I'm saying, Sean Carter, you're a piece of shit. Taking Pimp C wasn't bad enough. You just want to go down there and you want to just remove all of the balls from every real gangster in Houston.
Even more serious are the online allegations about underage relationships. Let's be precise. There are internet personalities who claim stories exist about Jay-Z speaking to underage girls decades ago. These claims have not resulted in criminal convictions. Some alleged paternity disputes have circulated publicly, including calls for DNA testing. But no court has established those viral narratives as confirmed fact. When accusations reach this level, the difference between allegation and adjudication becomes everything. And then there's the ecosystem. Former security members disputing who worked where, questions about contracts, percentages, publishing splits at Bad Boy, industry veterans arguing over who knew what. Some insist wrongdoing was an open secret. Others flatly deny it. Without courtroom verdicts, these remain contested accounts. So what is this really about? It's not a verdict. Courts decide that. It's about power structures, about how influence can shape headlines, about how some stories explode instantly while others simmer for years. Media framing isn't neutral. What gets amplified matters. What gets buried matters more. The loudest voices online often blur lines, mixing confirmed events with unproven theories. Wild claims about sabotage, secret setups, even supernatural nonsense. None of that is evidence recognized in court. But here's the uncomfortable truth. Even outrageous allegations can shift public perception if repeated enough. That's the risk of the digital age. And now the documentary angle. Framed not as accusation, but as examination. A look at systems, at how icons rise, how loyalty works, how silence spreads. It asks a dangerous question, not who is guilty, but who benefited when stories stalled. Legacy is complicated. Jay-Z built an empire. Music, fashion, sports management, philanthropy. That's factual. Cultural impact isn't erased by allegations. But allegations don't disappear because of impact either. When reputations face scrutiny, the response becomes part of the story. Investigations, where they exist, belong in courtrooms. Lawsuits rise and fall on evidence. Arrests require charges. Convictions require proof beyond reasonable doubt. That process protects the accused and the accuser. Anything else is noise. But here's the part people keep circling back to. When two powerful figures move in the same orbit for decades and one faces serious legal trouble, the public inevitably asks, what did others know? That question isn't an accusation. It's a human reflex. Power rarely collapses in a dramatic explosion. It erodes, slowly, through documents, through testimony, through patterns, or sometimes through nothing at all if allegations fail under scrutiny. Accountability isn't about spectacle. It's about process. And that leaves us here, watching headlines, watching denials, watching documentaries promise revelations, watching the internet amplify every rumor. Some claims will fade. Some will face court tests. Some may never be proven either way. So the real question isn't whether icons can survive controversy. History shows they often do. The question is this: if silence once protected influence, what happens when silence stops working? And who decides when the truth is finally enough?